Hope everyone's had a great day. Made some spectacular gains. I did. Your boy's finally actually getting like some forearm action. It feels actually feels pretty good. um, Today I wanted to go off a little off track. I had an aphorism that I wanted to talk about, but I'll save that for tomorrow's episode, I suppose. But um, you know, I mean, I've talked about this before, but this whole me trying to really actively change my mindset and kind of extirpate those feelings of resentment, envy, jealousy, anger, that all of us really, well, I mean, not all of us, but a lot of us really do carry around, right? Like, even on this progress, there's days like, like yesterday for me was unusually brutal, when you stop for a second and you started contemplating to your detriment on where you've been, the road that you've traveled on, the choices that you've made, the self-destructive decisions, um, that lead us to a point that you look around, stand still, and then you're utterly, and a lot of times we become disillusioned, or we take on, we allow this shit to weigh us down and to become defeated, to be a fatalist, to be like, damn, look where I've been and all these decisions, and then you just like bring yourself down where you become lethargic, and it becomes this vicious cycle where you don't do anything because you're bringing yourself down, and then you're going to bring yourself down even more because you're not doing anything. You know what I'm saying? And the reason you aren't is because we're looking at the past in a way that, that's not helpful, that's not beneficial. And, I'm just trying to, I'm constantly having to remind myself, and it is work that is involved and it's required, that, we're not, like, my legacy or who I am, I don't want it to be defined by what choices I've already made. They've been made, and there's no going back. There's no point in regretting. There's no point in wallowing in that anger towards oneself. It doesn't help anything. It's not going to help you launch forward. How many times are you going to go through this again and then hate yourself later down the road because you brought yourself down all over again, becoming, retaining to be your own worst enemy? And I'm glad I found bodybuilding. I'm glad that, it teaches that, if, suffering is always going to be, if we're going to have any constant companion in this world, it's going to be suffering, it's going to be strife, it's going to be pain. And that's why we do what we do. We try to find solace in friends and family, religion, philosophy, whatever the case may be, to kind of mitigate the load of that suffering, along with that loneliness that comes around with it. Especially, a lot of us guys nowadays, we have that feeling, but we gotta just nut up, shut up, and keep it moving. And it's a very difficult life, and I'm not trying to say this to fucking receive pity. I don't want fucking pity, and I'm not trying to make excuses for anything. This whole transition is relinquishing oneself with those feelings, of me, at least for me. It was like, yes, woulda, coulda, shoulda, I would have, if I would have done this, or I should have done this, and I would have been here, and, I wouldn't be where I am and stuff like that. But that's all bullshit, that's all imaginary crap. That's all, to me, is just a giant waste of time. It's done. What's done is done, and what matters is how you progress forward and how you move forward, and not, that key of not letting those decisions continue to be this weight to carry, to just let it go. And obviously that's a lot easier said than done, but I'm really glad that I picked up something like stoicism and Nietzsche, and, trying to be an affirmer of life. And I really do want to be an affirmer of life. And I don't want to look at my past decisions with anger and resentment towards myself, self-loathing, and start deprecating upon myself, and calling myself a loser, or saying that I'm not worth anything, or I'm never gonna do anything, I'm never gonna make it anywhere, I'm never gonna be satisfied, and turning that around, right, and turning that nihilism, that fatalism, that whatever you want to call it, and embracing it, and I'm still in the transition of that. I'm not, completely there, but I'm trying. It's to continuously remind me, like, dude, it's all a matter of opinion. It's all a matter of impression, perspective. Like, Epictetus likes to continuously remind in discourses. Is like, it depends on how you want to process this. Either you want to be a negator, right? If you want, be resentful and envious and harbor these vengeful feelings that you're just going to shoot up into the world and make your life even darker than what it is, because your opinion is just continuously nihilistic and pessimistic, instead of embracing life, embracing the suffering you've gone through, embracing the choices that you've made, embracing it to the point where, like, Nietzsche says that, something like eternal recurrence is actually good for you. Like, you actually look forward to some life like that, where you love life so much that you're willing to go through these decisions over and over and over again into infinity. And for me, it's just like, I made the decisions I made, but I wouldn't be here without those decisions. And to continuously keep those impressions in my mind of not delusional positivity, but it's just embracing, this is what I have done, but this is who I am, and this is what I want, and not let the past just beat me down to a bloody pulp and just watch life pass me by. It is tough to build that confidence when all you've done all your life is look down on yourself. I've looked down all my life, really. Never really loved myself. Hated myself, for the most part. Trying not to be emotional about it, but there are those instances where it gets tough, and you get a bit suicidal, really. You start to lose hope, but that's the crucial time. That's the time where all that you've learned, all that you've gone through, and that's the pivotal decision to make. Are you going to continue in this cycle of self-destruction, or you're just gonna try something else? Not let it bring you down, not, make it a part of your life, a part of your personality, something that's just you're gonna carry all your life, but let it go and beat it through work. Just because I was that person before doesn't mean I have to be that all my life. There's a chance, and that's what it's all about, right? To destroy those parts of you that have been bringing you down, to let those things die. And it is painful because it's a part of you, right? And we're creatures of comfort, but to allow those parts of you to die, to allow those thoughts, and realize that, yeah, man, that's in the past. But it's time to, kind of have like a little bit of an amnesia, for not remember what you've done. All matters is like, okay, what am I doing today? What am I going to do tomorrow? And realize that, yeah, even if I'm doing the right thing, that doesn't mean I'm going to see results within a few months. That it's you have to have that faith in yourself and that delusion, right? That's what it all starts with, is you do need a sense of delusion in order to get yourself going there, because there is no evidence to have you believe that you are going to get to that point. But you have to be able to construct that in yourself in order to continue to move forward, right? Construct this ideal out of your own volition. Construct an ideal, like, at least for me, that I'm content with, not with what other people want me to be content, or what other people tell me I need to be, but something that makes me fulfilled, and makes me, outwork the past, outwork, like a Heracles, right? To defeat through labor, through suffering, through work, and beat, and to, to kind of, what is it, to absolve oneself of those sins. through work, right? Through suffering. You know, if suffering's gonna be your constant companion, you might as well have it be your best friend, not someone that you're constantly scared of, like a fucking shadow. You know, make yourself scared of your own shadow, because like I said, it's a constant companion. It's never gonna go away. We could lie to ourselves all we want, but it's always gonna be there. But you might as well make it your best friend. You might as well suffer for the right things. And you know, even when you're going for the right things are not gonna go turn out your way, and life is gonna hit you with punches. And you know, it's gonna consistently remind you that we really don't have a lot of free will. We don't really have a lot of control. But all we can do is what we can with whatever control we do have, you know? Because, like, you know, you read history, you go through life yourself, and you're like, yeah, I had all these plans, and then life just shits on it, you know? And that could cause one to be a cynic, that could cause one to be a pessimist, that no matter how hard you try, if life wants to destroy you, it will. But like I said, it is that pivotal moment when you get beat down that's like, you know, are you going to get up to keep going, or are you just going to give up? You're just going to crawl up in a ball. And obviously I'm not the only one that's talked about this, but I'm starting to more and more realize how important that little instance of making that decision of what road you're going to follow every day. Really, I deal with that every day. I try to beat it through work. I try to beat it through more positive, more productive decisions. And I have to remind myself, like, yeah, that's where I've been. And yes, I did not make the best choices, woulda, coulda, shoulda, whatever the fuck. But at the end of the day, it's, you know, I have to do what I have to do. Give me a second, my fucking light turned on. You know, and it's tough sometimes, you know, and you really have to be able to stop yourself and be like, look, this is what I am doing, though. For you to look back and what you've been doing recently and be like, hey, look, you know, when the fuck have I ever been this active in trying to change my life? When have I ever suffered this much in a way that I know that I'm doing what I have to do? A duty. And even if things don't go my way, it is what it is, you know. But at least I'm trying, you know. At least I'm not curled up in a ball anymore. At least I'm not getting drunk all the time. At least I haven't completely given up and just wallow in pity and suffering and just anger, and just, you know, continue to press forward. You know, at the end of the day, man, life's tough, especially for us. I only can say for guys, because I know life is tough for women, but who the fuck am I to speak of such things? And I'm not gonna get into that whole fucking women and men dynamic bullshit. You know, there's enough podcasts, if that's your group, for you to check out all that bitching and complaining that people be doing nowadays. And I don't want to be that person that bitches and complains. You know, the reason I'm even making this video is not because I want to bitch and complain, but it's just like, whoever's hearing this, you know, you're going through it, and life is getting tough, and you know, sometimes you really do lose that direction, that goal, especially when you're alone. But build up that confidence in yourself, and that's why I really have been reading, and I really am trying to meditate, and you have to really constantly actively try to beat yourself. And sometimes you're gonna fail, sometimes I fail, but you know, I'm just like, fuck it, you gotta just keep trying. Can't be pessimistic. You can't let that sort of decision get you down this train of thought where you just become more and more and more abusive towards yourself, to the point where you just feel like, you know, what's the point? You're just stuck in place. And I don't want to be that person anymore. You know, I don't want to leave that sort of legacy. And I know, you know, when you die, no one is gonna give a fuck about you, but I don't want to be on my deathbed knowing that I didn't do anything. I don't want to be on my deathbed knowing that I didn't try, you know. And I don't, you know, whatever happens outside of me, it doesn't matter. You know, I don't care whether I have a family or not. I don't care about any of that. I'm not in control of such things. But when I am in control, it's my impressions, my opinions, you know, my perspective on how things are going to turn out, or how things are progressing. Not allow myself to defeat myself, you know. I'm sorry for my terrible grammar. I just did heavy legs, so cut me a break. But try to be your own idol. Try to be your own champion. Try to be your own ideal. Take up after someone like a Heracles, and go through these monumental tasks that seem utterly impossible to solve, but through sheer will, you could get through it. How many instances have we gone through where we feel that, like, how the fuck am I gonna get out of this? How am I gonna get through this? How am I gonna overcome this? And yet we're still here. We're still alive. We're still surviving. And there's a silver lining in that. Yes, I've gone through some really crazy shit, but the fact that I'm still here, that I'm still surviving, and I'm at a point now where people are encouraging me to do these sort of things and to post and stuff like that, when I didn't even think anyone give the fuck about me a few years ago. Like, now I don't care if anyone doesn't care about me, but the fact that I'm positive, I'm exerting a positive influence over people. Yes, that's a little vain that I'm talking about myself, but that feels good. There's a power in the feeling of utility towards others, right? That's some of the appeal. And I don't want this to be a completely selfish endeavor, because at the end of the day, I know I'm not the only one that goes through this. I know I'm not the only one that, I'm not the only young guy or whatever age that we may be, that is still trying to figure out life. It's still trying to, it's trying to not compare one's life with what other people are doing, or other people that are younger and are more successful and more money. It's like, fuck them. That's not your life. It's a waste of time comparing oneself to another. It's not productive. You're just defeating yourself going down that road and focusing on you, not giving a fuck about anybody else, and just focus on your goals and love yourself. Pat yourself on the back a little bit more. I don't have anyone to pat my back. You got to be your own best friend. You got to realize that if you're waiting for someone to give you courage, you're going to wait a long and lonely life. It's going to be a long, lonely life for you to wait for that sort of gratitude or that gratification, because we're not girls. I'm not a good-looking chick with big boobs that are going to be fucking getting real nasty, like a shitstorm of comments and stuff like that to boost up that ego. We don't get that. It's a different world out here for us. It's a more savage world. It's a more lonely world. But there's no point in complaining about that anymore. I don't want to complain about that. I don't want to be resentful. I don't want to look at it like, oh, some people have it so easy. So what? Fuck them. Who cares? Some people have it better than others. What am I going to do? This is the hand I've been dealt with. And this is the road that I've went on. This is the choices that I've made. Lay your bet on it. It's time to lay, you know what I'm saying? You made the bed, now lay on it. And now get the fuck up and keep moving. It's just a waste of time. And I just wanted to say this to whoever who's going through it, man. Just keep it going. Keep grinding. Keep grinding. And even if we're not where we want to be, at least you're trying, and I'm getting these feelings because I'm going through another, my birthday's coming up in a few weeks, and I'm not where I want to be, but I got to be more content with where I am now, where I am mentally, how much I've changed. And I'm not the same person I was, and I'm still progressing, that's life, right? We're continuously evolving. We're continuously moving forward. And I'm just getting emotional because, like I said, it's just been, I go through these spells where it's just really tough. I stand, like yesterday, man, like, I don't know what. It's just one of those days where yesterday, dude, I was just like in place, like stuck in my own fucking head, and I couldn't get out. So I was just like, bro, move. Like, don't get lethargic. Don't stop. Move. Stop bringing yourself down. It is what it is. Right? Like, and that fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you've gone all your life like that, it's a very difficult habit to get through because it's a habit, right? That self-destruction becomes a habit. You want to do that. That voice in your head that makes you want to make these stupid choices is alive and thriving and very powerful. And it is a continuous battle, day in and day out, second after second, minute after motherfucking minute, fighting against that motherfucker. And you have to win. And not every battle you go against him, you're gonna win. I fail sometimes. But at least I'm fucking trying. And there are victories. I have gained victories. Not like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, where I had no victories. I was just letting myself go after these self-destructive impulses. At least there's more and a little bit more and more and a little bit more control day by day, week by week. It's just continuous struggle, continuous failing. It's just like training. It's just like going in the gym. You're not going to be good in the beginning. I was trash for the first 3 years. 3.5 years. What the fuck did I know what I was doing? And I'm continuously knowing, I'm continuously learning, right? And now that I'm going another year, it's just a matter of perspective and realizing, dude, like, what am I doing every day now? Look at what I'm doing every day. I'm studying. I'm trying to get this. I'm trying to get that. And I'm trying to progress in my life and not, I wasn't doing this before. Got to keep your head up. And I'm glad that I've read something like stoicism. And it's just like, at the end of the day, all you have is your mind. All you have is you. All you have is your impressions. All you have is your perspective. And not to talk down on yourself. And I really have to learn not to do that. Not to call myself a piece of shit. Not to call myself a loser. But, to forgive myself. And to keep moving forward. To love myself. You have to be able to love yourself. Not delusionally, do it through work, sure, but be easy on you. Not be so severe. We can't be severe with ourselves yet. I feel like that's something else that I've learned from Epictetus is knowing your limits, knowing where you're at this point in your life. To go for self-destructive to absolutely, completely aesthetic. It's impossible. Not many people can make that transition. It's like people who start training or want to lose weight. You don't just go cold turkey and cut off all your fast food and cut off all the drinks and stuff like that. No, little by little you cut this out and then you cut this out and then you cut this out. Make the transition easier and more manageable to go through. And that's what I have to continuously remind myself. It's like, dude, I'm not perfect, but look where I was. It's just trying, little by little getting better, little by little getting better, little by little getting better. And it's that 1% every fucking day. And I may not see the gains now of that progress, but I'm beginning to see slivers of it. And all I have to do is just continue to go forward and remind myself that, hey, look, at least you're trying. And whoever's watching this, at least you're fucking trying. I know it's tough. I know I'm continuously repeating myself, but it's another year's coming by, and there's a lot to reflect on. There's a lot of things that I am going to keep working on, but I have to be more grateful of where I'm at now and not be so focused on where I should be or where I could be, worried about the future, worried about what I have to do, and just what can I do in the moment. What can I do to change my life now? Not what's going on later. I don't care about what happens around me. One way or the other, I will survive. Because I've survived worse. These are things that you have to tell yourself. I've survived worse than this. You know what I'm saying? And we're still alive. That's the greatest gift ever. Another beautiful chance to be able to do something. You know what I'm saying? One day you're not going to be here. One day we're going to fucking die. One day, everything's gonna be gone. Unless we'll try. What am I gonna do? Give up? What am I gonna do? Cry? What am I gonna do? Resent? What am I gonna do? Bitch about the patriarchy? Am I gonna start bitching that we need universal income or we need to get a cut of the billionaires or we need to do this? And no. I want my own. I don't need pity. I don't want pity. I don't want anything from anybody. I want to be able to look at myself in the mirror. I got this because of me. And if I have a family, I want to be able to say, hey, I'm providing for my fucking family. I'm doing what I need to do. I'm a man. I want to be a man of my own version. I'm a romantic. I love ancient Greece. And if you watch this channel, you should already know about that. I'm kind of an incel at this point. You know, I look at some of my friends and they're achieving, and I'm just like, you know, I'm happy for them. I'm not saying I'm envious or anything, but I look at them like, fuck, I'm gonna be like that. I'm so happy for them. You know, not resentful, like, oh, look at them, they're able to do all this, and woe is me. They deserve that though, you know. They deserved it because they put the fucking work. Now it's time for me to put the fucking work, you know. And here we are, you know. I'm doing these videos. Am I getting a lot of views? No. But you know what? At least I'm doing it. At least I'm finally being able to have the courage and the balls to be able to express my thoughts and my opinions, you know, and not keep it to myself. Because I've gone through life too, and I would like to share some of it. And I know, like I said, I know I can, you know, a lot of people can relate to me. And, you know, we could all go through this together. You know, this terrible life. I mean, not terrible. Fuck that shit. See? It's time to be more of a firmer. It's to say yes to life. Say yes to suffering. Yes to the continuous suffering that I'm going to go through all my life. It's not going to go anywhere. But say yes and have suffering to be your best friend, and be glad of all the crap and everything that comes along with you as a human being. Even the instincts that we hate, or the instincts that we're scared of, embrace those too, because they are a part of you and they make up who you are, right? That's the key. So before I continue to rattle any further, I'm gonna stop it right there. Thank you all for watching and listening. I hope you all make some beautiful gains, and until next time, peace.